What was the aspiration to turn around and build such a network when it comes to the vending machines and the ATMs?
Honestly, it's been, well, with this business right here, it's been about 10 years. And it just didn't start, over 100. I mean, it sounds great. But man, when I first wanted to get into the vending, I had my other businesses going on, but
Mm,
I needed something. And you're talking about fight-ins. I was always injured. If you're injured, you can't work. I needed something that I didn't have to physically be there. So I just thought about it. Actually, my older brother gave me the idea, and I just said, you know what, how am I going to get into vending?
mhm,
And when I first started, I actually started out with 5 machines. Those 5 machines, but I started with a company franchise that dealt particularly with healthy vending, and I thought it was right up my alley, just being close with fitness and martial arts. I said, okay,
mhm.
and yeah, went through training. The good thing with that franchise at the time, there was no franchise fees. There was a biz op, so I got training help. I bought the 5 machines from them, but I was able to kind of grow on my own. There was no one telling me, hey, you need to put this product in there, that product. This is what we think is healthy. So that was what was great about the opportunity. It took me about 6 months to kind of get the hang of it, though.
Mhm.
6 months. My biggest issue at the time was inventory management and pretty much remote monitoring. That was something new to me. So 6 months, I would say it took me to get used to it. 8 months, I bought 3 more, and by the first year, I ended
Mhm.
with 10, and I've been growing consistently ever since, and just never looked back. So um, went through everything on expansion. I went to traditional vending, full line vending, which is like snack, full meals in a corporation,
Mhm.
and coffee services. So I do it all. I do it all now.
Yeah, you started out with five.
Yeah.
Now, uh, give me some numbers. Like, for example, if I had some funding set aside and I wanted to allocate some money over, what's a good starting point?
Okay. So anyone that comes to me, because I have operators that come to me and they get into the business, it depends on what you're willing. Here's a good way to look at it.
Okay.
You have to start in vending. And I think the rule of thumb goes with any other business. You cannot be reliant on the income when you first start, meaning you should need to be able to go at least have 6 months of where you will not need the business. So if you have the money to buy 5 machines,
Mhm.
okay, whatever that investment amount, let's say it's 20,000. I'm just throwing a number out there.
Okay.
You should want to pull that money to pay yourself within that 6 months. This is my opinion.
Mhm.
The reason is because I've seen so many operators that get into the business, they lost their job. This is happening a lot now, especially. And sometimes I have to tell people, look, pump your brakes.
Right.
Okay, start with what you can handle time-wise and financially. Especially this quarter, we in fourth quarter, first quarter.
Mhm.
Fourth quarter, if you have, let's say, a school, most people, the first thing they think of vending, I want a school, I want a school. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But if you have a school and you go through the holidays, most schools are what?
Close.
Closed,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
So if you start up the bat and start pulling money in your pocket, oh, I'm making five, because my machines will do on average $500 to $800 a month, and um,
And
that's
that's
what
per machine.
that's per machine profit. This is
Okay.
after expenses, but that's typically on what I do. I have some outliers that do much more than that, but just in the realm of averages, 5 to 8.
Mhm.
So again, where I see people getting kind of the little issues, they get excited, but they're not accounting for first quarter, last quarter, even all the quarters.
Mhm.
So I would always say have either savings or have another job or another hustle where get the base of this business established before you blow your savings on the investment. So
Mhm.
even though I sell machines, I sell different types of machines, and I think it's going to be particular to the individual because I like healthy. Healthy normally gets me in the door. I've learned coffee services. Again, there's full line vending. Some people, there's combination machines where there's snack and drink. And it depends on the locations that you're trying to target. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Machines, sizes, models, all depend on what you're trying to target your entry point into the market. I personally think healthy is a easier way because it's not as saturated as the other um, segments in vending.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be careful on how you start. But I say if you, not that you're going to lose the money or blow the money, but can you be without taking a profit? Yes, you'll make profit. Day one, you put a machine, people put their money in. Yes, you're going to be making money, but you have to be careful. You have to know what are your taxes. Yes, pay your sales tax because
Mm-hmm.
my machines take credit card. I'm able to see what's top sellers, top, bottom, and I'm able to report those things and make the necessary right choices and change it up. You also want to see trends or
Mm-hmm.
performance indicators. Um, Time of the day, this particular product, Snickers could be in location A between 3 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So cool to do it when you use that technology. It will tell you what's selling.
So
So
you
if you
have a KPI for each one.
anything. There's
Okay.
tons. Hot zones, again, top 10, bottom 10 products, cash to credit card ratio. Those little things are important. Uh, and each location is going to be different. You could have a corporate building. I have a corporate building with 8 machines,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in different companies. The machines look different.
Right.
Age, income level, you could have a law firm, you could have a call center, you could have a doctor's office in the same building. Age, demographic, the income level of the people you're serving. You
Mm-hmm.
need to give it time because if you just put the same thing, your machines match, you're going to make average to below average money. I guarantee you that,
Right.
you know. And some people
Because
are,
it's not diversified because different companies desire different things.
course,
Okay.
of course, their spending habits are different. That's why it's
True.
important to use the right tool so you can see what's selling or not. I spend most of my time doing that, to be honest with you.
Right. So who would be like the point of contact?
Depends on the location.
Okay.
Most places, like my car dealerships, it's like the service manager, or sometimes some companies it could be the admin. You know, they give that job to the admin, but that actual first person that you meet. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
corporate building and you have the lobby, is the building management company. They normally have an office. So you want to lease the building management number is right there. Their office is normally in the building or give the address. That's who you go talk to. And larger corporations like hotels, more than likely is going to be HR.
Right. And you do have like hotel chains that you associate with, right?
Hotels, I have Hilton, Marriott, I have W, I have Westin, Wood Spring Suites, which is extended stay. So I have quite a few, yeah.
What led you to that? Did somebody guided you or somebody mentioned, hey, try putting in the hotels, or that's something that you became the creator of?
I think being in South Florida, also, I think you have to look at what's prevalent in your area as well. Being here in Fort Lauderdale,
Mm-hmm.
there's hotels everywhere, and just through networking, um, friends, neighbors, someone I met, I knocked on doors. Some places I went, I just gave it a try because when I first started, I really needed help to. I was blind, and my one of my first places was a Hilton, and even out of the 100 I have, with all the Hiltons I have, I don't want to say it's either be 30 to 40 in
Mm-hmm.
total of all, because I have one place that has 25, one place 6, 4, and it came from the original place. So one person recommended me to the other branch, or I
Right.
asked them for the additional business, and that's pretty much how I've grown.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, what's some of the challenges that you face when you first started?
Uh, let me give you a good example. When I
Okay.
first started that first Hilton, right? It had 300. It was not for guests. I mean, say that, okay? It's not for the guests. It was for the employees. I was
Mm,
excited. I put the machine in the back. HR said, okay, fine. My first month, I did about $100 gross, and I was mortified because it
right.
wasn't what I was expecting. And long and short of it, I spoke to the HR manager, and she was like, well, why don't you just move it down? Or I suggested actually, hey, can we move it a little bit down the corridor because it was kind of tucked in like a corner. You really
Right.
couldn't see it. So I moved it where everyone pretty much was clocking in. And most of those big hotels have a receiving area for food, and they outsource a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next month it did about 4 or 5, or even 4 or 500. The next month about 600. So it was trending up, but it's still, and this is gross. I'm not at the net yet. So um, I saw that there was movement there, but the deciding factor with that place was um, I was at the machine filling it one day, and a lady came by, and said, "Hey, you got an expensive ass machine." She wasn't even saying it to me. She just said it out loud. I guess
Mm.
she was, and I didn't know how
And
to
this
take it.
is even as the traction was building.
Right,
Mm,
even as it was building, because
right.
it was building because they didn't have a choice. There's two different aspects, right?
Right.
Sometimes you go in the airport, think about it. You buy a Coke for $4, a 20-ounce Coke. You will
Right.
never do that outside of the airport. Why? Because there's options,
Correct.
right? The
Right.
airport, they know what they got with you. You're stuck. If they put it at $5, you're gonna buy it because that's what you want.
One thousand percent.
Right? So
Right.
sometimes that's the mindset. I look for a place like, are they stuck? So these people were stuck. So that was more their frustration of, I turned around and looked at her and I was like, oh man, okay. These are the chambermaids. These are the bellhops. These are security guards.
Right.
This is not the guests coming on vacation.
Yeah.
And I
For
realized,
them,
you know what
average
I mean?
spending. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I said, let me change. I think at the time my average price point was, and again, got to know your KPIs. It was about 275, something like that. High two. On I lowered it down to 175. That place does about 3 grand now a month.
Oh, really?